and welcome to After the Table, a TTRPG podcast. It is I, Shelly Von Miller, your favorite idiot on the internet. And today we're speaking with somebody that I've been following for a while on Twitch and in the creator space. And I was very excited whenever I found out that they are a TTRPG nerd like myself, and they do AP. And even more excited whenever I heard that they have a project coming out, a huge project. So I was like, yes, I'm gonna get them on the podcast. So with all that being said, hi Sachi.
Hi. What's up? Hello, it's me.
Hi.
You bitch.
We've gone around. We've been in like similar Twitch chats for so many years, and we finally met at PAX Unplugged.
Yeah, which is weird because we were both at TwitchCon.
We were both at TwitchCon. We were both at...
But I was like barely
Gen
at TwitchCon. You were at Gen Con?
Yeah. I was at Gen Con.
Gen Con is massive though, so that makes like a lot of sense.
I was working it though, so...
Oh yeah, no, I was wandering around. I had like a singular panel I was on, but outside of that I was like, I'm just gonna meander. Because it's Indiana, so...
Yeah. You know, it's like, it's Indiana. I'm here.
Fun fact, I'm formerly from Indiana, so I was like specifically Indianapolis. So I was just like, I'm just home.
You're like, I'm just gonna go see my family.
I mean, I literally stayed with my parents for Gen Con because I was like, hey, I could go get a hotel, or I could stay with you, and you guys have a dog, so... And it's free. So,
save as much money as you can.
But yeah, I guess we're just two ships passing in the night until PAX U, which is funny because I was working PAX U as well.
And I was sort of working PAX U as a content creator, so it was just
I was there as a content creator and then also working a booth.
Yeah. Oh, let's discuss who you were working a booth for.
Oh, I was working a booth for my friend Elise of Mythic Grove Productions, and I was helping them demo their Session Zero system. So I spent the whole weekend just playing games for people. Yeah,
which is an amazing system, by the way.
I adore it.
I love it. I need to pick it up, and I'm just like,
I love it. You can get it in stores, because Sam, my friend Sam, didn't buy it at the con. She like bought it later at like a bookstore, like for her kid.
Is this Sam as in Sam as in
Sium?
Yes. Again, similar circles that we all orbit around because that's Twitch.
I know you've done some stuff with Sam with Wounded Warrior Project.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I could talk about Sam for forever. I go to her house every weekend. That's bestie right there. Also does TTRPGs. The biggest thing that happens on the weekend is when I go there, we actually do watch an AP that we're both in together.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, we watched, like, it's this huge AP project that we're both in, and we're, like, cast in, and so we get to, like, just watch each other and, like, watch our friends who are also in it, while we hang out. So, yeah. I've blabbed a lot about my friendship with another individual and working around, but, you know, I'm a yapper.
Yeah. Okay, so the reason for the season, the reason why we're here for this wonderful episode is you have a studio. You started a studio.
It kinda. Studio feels like a big word, but I guess that's what it is. It's an AP channel. That I had an idea for it. I want to say like the second I realized TTRPGs were a content thing, because I've been playing tabletop since high school. And I just didn't. And I started Twitch streaming in college, but I didn't really connect the two. For a while, TTRPGs were really something I was like, oh, that's not like a content that's for me. That's not what I'm gonna do my content with. And then people found out I like D&D, and they were like, you should, Sachi, you're a nerd. You should do something with that. I was like, what? And then so I just started playing more D&D TTRPGs publicly. And after that, and after being in a couple productions myself, I was like, I could do this. I could do this, actually. I could run these. And there was certain, like, you know, we all go through, like, actually, I don't know if we all do. Hopefully we don't all go through it. But sometimes we go through things in the space that are extremely frustrating. And I remember I was working a production with a now canceled creator And I remember thinking the whole time of, I could do this better. Which, not really a great thought to have when you're on another production. But this creator was canceled for a reason. So I just kind of stewed on that idea for a while, and finally I went, I kind of want to do this, because on top of just mostly only seeing people play D&D, I mostly see a lot of white people playing D&D, which is fine. We love our white friends. We don't need to have a table just full of white people, though. Or have that table just playing D&D and D&D only. So I created Project Medusa TTRPG because I like her. And she's also a symbol for marginalized voices as well, for the sexual assault community. So that's also a community I'm a part of. So I was like, I love that symbolism. I'm gonna use it. It's mine now. It's pretty. And the whole focus is to create diverse tables with diverse stories, meaning I'm not really using 5e. Nothing I currently have in production is using 5e. In fact, they're systems that are brand new. And I'm very excited. I also said everything's going to come out in the fall, and you're definitely hearing this and nothing has been released. And that's because the BBEG of all tabletop is scheduling.
I guess going on that is because you're also a content creator.
Yeah,
so like outside of this,
I'm doing a lot of things.
Yeah, same. Yeah. It's like
we all are.
Oh yeah. It's like, oh, I have this project I want to do. I have this other project I want to do. I have this and this and that and this. And I guess the question is, how do you find the time? If you can find the time.
Person. I do find the time. I do have like a small team, but it's not really a team in a sense of like I'm not making any money actively. I mean, I have one show I'm doing that is being sponsored. So that's really exciting by like the people who have created the game that we are playing. So that's exciting, but that's like honestly a rare case in a lot of tabletops where like you get to be paid to be at a table. Usually most of us are doing it just for the fun of the game, which I do enjoy. But because of that, it is mostly just me. And that's what I've struggled with in terms of I'm the one who created this. And so I'm the one kind of spearheading things. And while I have brought people on to help me with admin stuff, they also have lives, and I can't pay them. So they're just like my little helper buddies that I just like type things in chat being like, hey, I'm thinking of doing this. Thoughts? And that's about it. But it's good to have that sounding board. But it also feels not super great to be the only one sometimes because, again, I said I was going to have stuff out in the fall, and I don't. And there's only one person I can fully blame for that, and it's myself. But also I think I'm going to have to give myself grace that last year was a lot, especially near the end of the year. For anyone in any marginalized community who lives in the United States, in the world.
Yeah.
Just not, it was everything kind of like it globally went haywire, and then also my personal life took a hit. But like the biggest thing was scheduling. Like that, I think that's like my biggest. I mean, I already knew that. We all joke that scheduling is the BBEG of tabletop. We are all aware of it, like for whether we're in our own productions or like our own personal like home games. Like people have to cancel all the time, or they're just not free, or times just don't align because time zones. That has been my biggest bane. I had also trying to overexert myself. I had I think around 10 shows planned at once. And I went, I could do this. And if scheduling had all worked out, I could have done it, I think. Would I have gone insane? Yes. Would everything be the quality I wanted it to be? Absolutely not. So I realized I have to calm down. And right now I'm only working on production for 2 shows. To come out, hopefully, end of February, one of them. But, yeah. That's BBEG scheduling, and also, manage your expectations. Just don't do what I did. Go like, I can do 10 shows after not having produced anything ever. I was ambitious, and I was Icarus, and I am now in the ocean. It's okay. It's okay.
More.
Fine.
It's fine. More Greek analogies right there. Medusa,
Yeah.
Icarus.
Yeah,
We're just.
can you tell
spanning-
I'm a queer femme? We
Queer
love
femme,
mythology.
yeah. It's one of those things. As somebody who was gonna go into ancient Roman archaeology at one point of her life, yeah. No, I get it. Yeah.
You're
I was just like, yeah, I kinda. No, I get it. I did the Googles. Well, it's more like I searched your Twitter. I searched the project Twitter. And those APs that you're working on.
Yeah.
So you're using Seeker's Romance RPG.
That's so the two that I am working production on right now that I'm excited for are mostly because they are games that are either still in development, like we'll see a Kickstarter for them soon, or they have been kickstarted. Like they're done by small companies and they're brand new. So Seeker's Romance is written by my buddy Taymor, and it's this vivid, colorful world. It is a tabletop system. It uses a dice system that uses everything except a D20. And I'm really excited to show off the mechanics. I don't know how much I should say right now because it's coming to Kickstarter.
Don't.
And we're currently in production for it.
Yeah, don't spoil anything.
I'm not trying to spoil anything. I'm also really super excited for the cast they put together for this. I'm actively in the cast for it, but that's also just because it's my show and I want to play. Like I saw the game and I was like, hey, I could run this, but I know someone who can do a better job at it. And also I'm selfish and I want to play this thing because it was really fun. So I'm a player and I don't want to like reveal the cast too much. Because I remember I was showing off because we recorded our first episode. Yeah, no, like finally, you know, I sent the
I'm
call
excited.
And
I'm just like, yes.
But we recorded our first episode, and I showed it to a friend, like just to, like I like pulled it up, and before I even clicked play, she saw like the table, and she was like, "I'm stupid jealous of this table. Like this is an amazing table that you've collected, Sachi, because they're people from the space that like a lot of us know and adore." I will spoil that Blizz and Sam are both in this.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes, and of course...
we publicly talked about it, but...
Yeah, I'm so excited, because I've been watching the show that they're doing on Wounded Warrior Project's channel, and
Blizz's descent into TTRPG, he fully blames on me.
Oh, good.
Even though he's been in a D&D show called Cherry Hill for years.
Yeah.
Before I think I was good friends with him. And then when I became good friends with him, I started being like, you should be in this thing, or you should do these things, or you should come to this con with me. Like, you went to PAX U with me. He's not a tabletop creator, but he is now.
But he is now, and I think
people recognized him there.
That's true.
From the tabletop community.
Yeah, and then of course he also dragged Maddie with him.
Oh, we both dragged Maddie. Anytime we go to a con, we're like, Maddie, come, because like Maddie's also been in some stuff. She's been in a tabletop thing that I think actually recently won some Webfest awards. That Beyond the Brook one she did, and she's also in the D&D show Castleton that Winter's Tale is putting on. That's the show I go to Sam's every weekend to watch.
Castleton.
Because there's like 120 people in that.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
Liz is in it. I'm in it. Sam is in it. Maddie's in it. Maddie actually plays my cousin in it.
Nice.
And Blizz is getting corrupted by Sam's character. It's all like one big happy family.
It's so great.
But, like,
I love corrupting friends into playing
friends.
games.
Like I was there when I managed to at PAX West actually last year managed to get Blizz to like buy a set of expensive dice from one of our friends, and I was like, oh no, who did that?
Oh no.
Oh no, they were like really pretty rainbow glass stuff. So he's like he's not mad.
Of course not.
But then I also cast him in the other show I'm working on production for.
The one with the Paragon system
with
from
the
Broken
Paragons
Door.
from Broken Door. Again, another smaller, like written by my friend Josh. So my friend Josh is actually going to be running the game for us.
Oh, that's amazing.
And Blizz is also in Paragons. And he's learning French for that game.
Oh, we love a bilingual individual in this house.
He's like, I'm gonna learn French because of this character decision I made in the backstory process of making this character. But that's also gonna be a My Hero themed game, because Paragons is like a superhero based TTRPG system, and it uses Powered by the Apocalypse, so it's D6. So nice, simple, easy. And again, my friend wrote it, so like I'm very excited to be able to use my platform, to platform something like my friend made that I'm actually like I think is really neat. So that's also a big thing too, like small indie, systems. Like I don't need to do Daggerheart. I mean, I will. Like we are going to do that, because it's not 5e. And eventually we might do 5e, but it's not my focus. I want to focus on basically everything but 5e, because the tabletop world is so full of all these different systems that allow you to tell really wonderful stories and really diverse stories if you let yourself do that. So I'm gonna do that.
Especially with systems that are so much more accessible than 5e.
5e, like, you have to have like a billion different books, and then there's also like, supplements you can use. Like, there's expansions almost. It feels like The Sims 4 expansion packs. Because it's
like I'm playing modded Minecraft over here. Like, what's going on? Like, I don't know what's going on.
It can also be really overwhelming because there's a lot of numbers, and I'm not saying other TTRPGs aren't a lot of numbers. There are also numbers involved in other ones, but sometimes it's less numbers. Like Powered by the Apocalypse, you just use D6s. You don't have to worry about 7 different dice.
You're like 2d6 plus whatever you roll.
Yeah,
like that's based on your power or something like that.
Exactly,
and it's like, oh yeah, this is simple. This is way easier to get into. I have
a friend who's new to D&D on a podcast I'm on, and I remember he was like asking about specific dice, being like, "Which one do I roll for this?" He knows the D20 is the main one, but he got confused during like a combat encounter about what to roll, and he rolled really low on something, and I went, "Hey, Andy, did you happen to roll the one that looks like a triangle?" He was rolling a D4 instead of a D20 at one point in one of our recordings, and I was like, "Buddy, no." And he's like, "Which one is this?" And then like we asked him to roll the D6, and he was still rolling a D4 because like he was supposed to roll like 4D6 or something, and he's like, "I got a 4," and it's like, "Hey, are you rolling the D4 again, bud?" Because
are you rolling the cube or the triangle?
Yeah, because there's no way, like there's no mathematical way that that's possible, because D&D can be confusing.
It is. It can be.
It's not, I don't think D&D in a sense, because I think some people might find D&D constraining. I think if you're creating a 5e or any system you use, it's literally a sandbox. It is your oyster. But why stay in the same sandbox?
Yeah, it's easier. I will say this right now, as somebody who's had to teach people to play D&D, it's easier to teach because there's so much out there for it.
There's so many resources. Like, I don't have to sit down for an hour. I can just send someone a video that's existed for like 4 years or something that like has like everything they need and will explain it better than me. Because there's a reason I didn't become a teacher.
No. Yeah.
There's a shortage. I could have become one. They would have hired me. I didn't do that to myself. Or the educational community.
I'm sorry.
Still happening.
No, thank you. So yeah, I love the fact that you're highlighting like indie games.
Yeah.
One, I love indie games. I love indie games both in the TTRPG sense, but also like video games and just board games. It's one of those things like I'm like, oh yeah, I would totally just let me break this open and cool.
And a big reason for that is going to cons. Actually, like Gen Con specifically, going to Gen Con and like walking the floor and seeing all the systems these people had for sale, and all the systems that were out there. And, like, I was aware of that to a certain extent. Like, I was aware there's a lot of nerd stuff. Like, I knew there was a lot of supplemental stuff, but my brain fully didn't comprehend that, like, oh, these are entirely different systems. Like, not all of these are D&D. And honestly, thank God, because I don't like... Is his name Gary Gygax? That man? I will dunk on that man without a care. because there's been a lot of like comments recently on like some of the TTRPG creators I know, specifically like the ones who like make dice, who like make artisan items for D&D, and they were like, D&D was created by Gary to be like a cheap hobby, you know? And it's like, dude, look around you. It's no longer cheap. It's kind of become mainstream. These are artisan goods. You don't need to buy them. So shut up. But like old say fans being like, Gary wanted this to happen. I was like, Gary was Gary was definitely racist and sexist. So I don't care. I do not care about what Gary made this game for, because like, I mean, it's the thing where like the invention of anything, you can put something out into the world, but it can evolve and turn into its own thing. And then you die, you know, and then you're dead. So, you know, watch me make the gayest character possible in a D&D game.
Gayest, feminist.
Yeah.
Person.
Prettiest. Like,
prettiest.
I love
but strongest.
But strong. I love making I'm playing in one of the podcasts I'm in. I'm playing like stupid pretty warlock who's kind of a ditz, but like on the drop of a hat can turn on like a very confident like, oh, try me, like type of attitude, which I adore. That's another thing I love about TTRPGs, is just getting to like put on like a jacket for like an hour or two, or
like,
several hours depending.
Let me put on this wig and this jacket and be like,
let me like put on the jacket, fully wrap myself into it, and hello, I'm a different person for the next couple hours. And it's escapism, like through and through. So don't put your realism of D&D was meant to be cheap, and I don't care, it's not anymore. Let me be a pretty little princess and kill people in my pretty little princess game that I've taken from the white man, and I don't care. I really don't. And I think that's what's wonderful too about this space now, and why the biggest reason I hesitated at first from entering it was because, again, D&D was something I was like, that's just something I enjoy for me. It doesn't need to be a content thing. But it was also because I didn't really know I could make it a content thing, because I didn't see... I mean, Critical Role has existed since...
10 years. 10 years.
10 years, yeah,
10 years.
or something. And so, like, that's been around, but that's a different level. That's corporate now.
Yeah.
Like, what they're
doing, let's be real, it's been corporate.
It's been corporate.
It's been corporate, but now it's its own corporation.
Yeah, like, even when it was with Geek and Sundry, it was still pretty corporate, because, like, these was also, like, already established people within their prospective spaces. They just kind of, like, they're a big reason D&D became so big, though. And so, like, that's great. Me as an individual doesn't really look at that, though, and go, I can do that, because it's not the same caliber. It took me seeing like much smaller creators who are not my friends, you know, just kind of doing whatever they wanted and just kind of creating tabletop content to the caliber they were capable of, which is still really good, and like telling amazing stories, you know, without the budget of Critical Role. And I'm like, oh, if they can do that, why am I not even asking to be in shows? Why am I not even putting myself out there to you know, be a part of this? And so I got cast in my first AP, I want to say 2 years ago. That show's no longer running, but like it's like a drug. I got put in that and I went, ooh, this is fun. And then it took a few long months, like nearly a year, before I was in my next AP. And then everything just kind of snowballed, I think, within like the last year, honestly. Just like it's been like the last full year, I think I've fully come into it, where it's like I'm not, because when I came into it, I was like, I am a Twitch streamer, gamer, video game person, and that's what I do, and nothing else. And then within the last year, it's like, yes, you do that, but also I'm a TTRPG creator, and I can't say I'm not anymore. Because I remember at PAX West, I was like, my friend was like, you're a TTRPG creator, and I went, what? And she was like, Sachi, you literally, I was like, making APs now, like, and you're like consistently being cast in shows, like, you need to shut up. And I was like, okay, I'm a TTRPG creator now. Because like Blizz was like, I think I'm a TTRPG creator, and I was like, well, if you think you're becoming a TTRPG creator, what the hell am I? So, yeah, I brought Blizz down with me.
And honestly, that's I I want to see I love the fact that a lot of people that I know from the Twitch space that are used to like just chatting and video
Yep.
games and things like that are getting into the AP space, because I'm just like, yes, I want to see you do more things. I
Yep.
know you're going to be exhausted because you're going to want to do them all now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, there was a show I was like agreed to be in because it was Code Lyoko themed, but I
Oh
didn't
my god.
realize everyone else on that show lived in EST time zone, and I'm in PST time zone. So those shows were really early for me because they were like recording at like noon their time, sometimes earlier. So I would be waking up around like one time I think I woke up around like 7 a.m. for this show, and I was like, everyone knows I'm a night owl. If you know me, you know I'm a night owl. So, but I was like, for the love of the game, I woke up, I did it. It was it was hell. But it was one of those things where it's like, oh, I'm stretching myself a bit thin for the love of the game. Um, which I was also doing with Medusa when I was like, I'll have things up by the fall, and then I thought I got tables together where everyone would be free, and then we put out the schedulers, and then I looked at the schedulers and went, literally, how is this possible? I did talk to a couple of other creators in the space who also produce things, and I was like, so here's the scheduling issues I'm having. And they did tell me my luck was abysmal. It was really bad. 90% of the shows I was like working on casting or like had put together, when I got the schedules back, I think only one or two of those shows actually had any like common meeting time. So I scrapped those shows. And I'm just working on the two that like, are linked to Kickstarters and like linked to, games that my friends have created. And once I finish production on those, then I can revisit the ones I had to scrap because they still would like to do them. It's just I had to kind of do triage in terms of production of, okay, if I try to do all of these again, and like if I try again in the new year to get these all scheduled, I think I will die. Let me focus on the two that I think I want to do the most, and I want to show off the system the most, and then we'll reevaluate and do more shows. I learned my lesson. I need to calm down. Essentially, I just need to chill.
No, I get that. No, I'm a one-woman production team. I get it.
Yep.
Speaking of the production aspect of it, what does your production, like, not schedule, but like,
Yeah.
how do you do your production kind of like
So everything
thing?
is pre-recorded. A lot of people do, their shows live. I'm in a couple of ones that are live. And like that's great. It has its own hiccups. It also has its own benefits. Because if it's live, it's just happening. It's there and it's out. Pre-recorded, you can make cuts. You have to add music. You have to. If you're recording without an overlay and you just have a bunch of cameras, you have to then move all the cameras. I'm not a graphic designer, so I truly do struggle with the overlay parts, but that's like where I have friends to help out a little bit, and give opinions on something I'm making, or sometimes they take pity and are like, I just made you this thing, here you go, and I'm like, thank you so much. It's not my strong suit, but I think the biggest the thing I run into with one woman production crew is I know there's so much more I could do if I had the money, and I just don't. Like, if someone's like, if this were to be everything you wanted it to be, what would you need? And I'm like, honestly, I don't even need like just $1,000, like just $1,000 per show, because then that would get me art, that would get me overlays, and then I could pay the cast with like I think all of that money. But that's like the dream, but I don't have that, so it's just me editing. It's also I have someone who helps me fill out schedules, but at the end of the day, if I say a recording date doesn't work, it doesn't work because I have to be there. So scheduling has been still super hard, even though I've chilled down how many things I'm trying to do. Because there's also the biggest reason we're pre-recording is I want to be able, when I release something, I want to have consistent content. And if I pre-record it, have it all ready, I can guarantee, another episode or another session for like people to see on a regular basis, rather than, dropping an episode and then disappearing for 3 months and then dropping another one, which also like is fine if you have to do that. It's just, I think consistency is key in content. Like we see it all the time. People like are like, you have to post daily, which is exhausting in itself. And I don't do that, but it can also feel really lonely. And sometimes like I'm bothering my friends when I do production, because, they are my friends. Like if I have them in my cast for something, and I don't want them to hate me, but also sometimes I do have to do like, the poke of like, you didn't fill out your schedule, I'm gonna eat your shoes. Having to like wrangle a bunch of content creators is a hassle, because like all of us have different like, schedules. So it's really hard and it's really tiring, but I think the final product will be worth it. I also edit everything myself, so that's also time cut in. But I actually am an editor by trade for the most part. Like I spend most of my time editing anyway. So honestly, I think while editing might be more of a tough point for other individuals when it comes to the production side, the biggest reason I was like, I can run an AP channel is because I can just do all the editing. I don't have to worry about being like, well, I produced it in the sense where like I recorded it and I got the cast together and like I attached my name to it. I'm also the editor, so like I'm fully producing this thing. I'm fully putting a lot of my heart and effort into it. But I think that's what makes it like worth it to me as well, because I'm making something I really want to make. Because if I didn't really want to make it, I would just delete the channel and pretend I never created it.
You're like, I'm just gonna delete all the social media. Nobody's just delete everything.
Like when I realized like we definitely weren't coming out with things in the fall, I was like, do I just go into hiding? Do I go ghost? And I went ghost in the sense where like I just hadn't really posted because there was nothing to post. And when I do have like a more fully realized update that I can give, I will do that. But right now I'm just in production, so I feel like, I guess that in itself is an update. But I was in production when I announced things. It's just everything within that kind of, imploded a little bit due to life in the world, which is unfortunate, but it happens. Because at the end of the day too, like as much as I want to say Medusa is going to be this whole thing, I don't know that. And also baseline, it's a passion project, and I can't keep a passion project going if I just don't care about it anymore, and I don't want to not care about it anymore. So I needed to calm down. But if I burn out, you can't continue the passion project once you're burnt out. So, manage your expectations, drink water, take a nap, don't do too much. And then you can keep going. But yeah. the production side of things, the biggest struggle, and I think I will always say this, is going to be scheduling, because you're relying on multiple people.
Yeah. On the other side, like on the production side, you're just like, it's just me, but it's like the outside influences
I have some friends who help me, but like they have their own lives. And it's not like a team I can pay. Like I have games that are sponsored, and I am paying my cast and crew who are part of that. But like if I specifically am playing a game that's not sponsored, it's just me. And that's okay, because it's what I knew that, going into it. I knew it was going to be work. I didn't realize it would be so debilitating with scheduling, but you'll live and you'll learn, and then you just take it 1 or 2 shows at a time rather than trying to do at one point 10. Don't do that. That's like my biggest advice is don't do it. Start with 1. Like Sachi really needed to chill. I had a lot of ideas. I was like, I could do a show with this theme using this system, and that would work. Ooh, that'd be great. And then I could cast these people. Like my friends would be great for that. And I think what was great about waiting so long to do something like this is I have a great pool of peers I can cast from, that are very diverse, and I can show off, that the diversity within the space in that way. But you know, that's a lot of people I brought in, and then the schedule just didn't work out. But you'll see them all eventually at some point.
Hell yeah.
You know, and I think that's the exciting point. I think that's what I'm telling you should be the exciting point. It's like, you just gotta wait and see, guys. I'm really edging you right now.
Yeah, it's okay. So we talked about some systems that you're wanting to work with. What is your wish list?
There are
top
a couple,
three.
Top three. Well, so we're doing Seekers and Paragon, but that's not a wish list because those are happening. And I also know we're eventually doing Daggerheart, so like that's fine. I have an idea for a show using a system called Never Going Home, which is World War I Eldritch Horror. So that's in the top three. I also would love to do a cyberpunk game. And then third is hard because I also really want to do Avatar Legends. Just because I like Avatar. But like, I don't know. I don't think that's top three. That's just like an eventually. Top three. Dang, that's hard. Something maybe horror based. I don't really do horror though.
Yeah.
The horror, I don't like, that would be one I produce, but I'm not in, I think. There are gonna be some shows that I produce. There was a one shot I actually produced using Thirsty Sword Lesbians. It's fully recorded. I just haven't edited it yet. So I do have one show fully done for Medusa. It's just, we won't see it for a while because it's not what I wanted to open with.
Hey.
Because it's more of a sweet, short, little fun little story. And I'm not saying that's not what Project Medusa is. It can be that. It's just not what I wanted to open with. So we're going to open, I think the first video people see is going to be from Seekers and then Paragons. And then I will release into the world the thing I recorded last year with some Wonder Individuals, which was like a space-themed game using Thirsty Sword Lesbians. And I would love to use Thirsty Sword Lesbians a game for like a longer show. So I guess that's also still in my top three. I love Thirsty Sword Lesbians. It's great.
I love it. That's I have a mini series that I'm trying to work on. Eventually it will happen. But yeah, it's one day.
Ain't that just like the world of production is like eventually.
Yes, I have people interested. I have
Yeah.
people who are interested. And I'm like, it's going to be pre-recorded. It's not going to be live. I
think the benefit of pre-recorded, like with it all, I mean, every type of production has its like, you know, faults. But the benefit of pre-recorded is you can stop and start. You can edit out mistakes. Like, I'm gonna have to blur my camera at one point for one of the recordings we did because one of my family members came into my room even though I was recording. But it was during another person's scene. So, like, I didn't interrupt that, but, like, family member fully showed their face on camera, and I'm like, I despise you. No, but because it's pre-recorded, I can just in post, you know, edit that out. So, like, there's the benefit of that, but there is the inherent more work of now you have to add, you know, music, because with a live show, usually it's just in the back there, like, you can hear it. But that doesn't mean I won't be doing live streaming things. I think like when I premiere the episodes on YouTube, I might also do like a live watch on its own Twitch channel as well. Cause you know, cross-platform content creation, like you have to cross-plat post, or you will fail. I very rarely see one person. I mean, it's very rare to see someone just exist on one platform. And props to you if you do. It's not me.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's if you want, I've been making content for too damn long. If you want to be successful in content, you can't just put all your eggs in a basket.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people who burn out being like, oh, content's not for me. I mean, eventually, like some people do just burn out because it's a lot. Content's a lot. It's like its own beast. Like I remember the argument was like, would you rather do this job or stream? Like, which one is harder? And it's like, they have their faults. All jobs have their faults. Streaming is a particularly niche one because a lot of us don't have to be doing this. We could go get a different job. It's just, some of us do it for the love of the game. It's kind of an abusive relationship. It's okay. But you know, you have to kind of go with the flow with it because it's constantly changing. There's gonna be a new platform and you have to either get on it or don't. Make the decision to do so and continue as you are. And sometimes it's a good decision. Like, I didn't get on the Red Note app.
Me neither.
I was just
so
like,
I
think
think
on
that's
TikTok. And like, that's also to my fault because also the TTRPG community on TikTok is huge.
It's so big.
It's niche, but a lot of the friends I have made from the TTRPG community are specifically like got started on TikTok. But then they like expanded out. Like a lot of them are technically TikTokers, and I didn't think that would be my life because I'm not really on TikTok. But you know, you go to these cons, you
I'm
meet
a
people.
passive. It's like one of those things.
Yeah, I have a friend being like, you didn't see the TikTok I sent you. I was like, well, did you text it to me or did you send it to me on TikTok and the message app? Because if you sent me on TikTok and message app, my notifications have hundreds and hundreds of the bubbles because you all keep sending me things and I never get on.
I'm really bad about doing that. I'm not as bad now because I deleted TikTok off my phone whenever it got taken down for 12 hours.
I was at a content party when it went down, so everyone just pulled out their phones and opened TikTok, and we all were like, guys, RIP, like we're all at a bar, a bunch of content creators. We were all like, end of an era, like let's drink about it. And then it was back the next day, and I was like, wow, we made a big deal at the party for nothing. It was mostly like as a bit, because you know, TikTok is TikTok. I think TikTok is forever. But
until it burns down.
Another networking thing, I guess networking, because like a big thing with production is like, yes, you do the cross-platform posting, you do all that, like that's just existing in content. But another part of existing in content that I didn't fully realize until I went to my first TwitchCon a couple years ago was conventions within the space are huge for production. For being a content creator, yes, for sure, because that's networking, but also for production things, because at cons that's where I found systems to run, but then also I'm meeting people, that's potential cast, and like networking to like help you get further in the space, because we're all just a lot of people fighting over the same bone, and I'm not gonna push someone down to get to the bone. I'm just gonna say, yeah, you want to share this little bone with me? It'll be great. And like, I don't need to go after like the big bucks, you know. I that sounds like a cat fight I don't want to be in. So just creating things to the level and quality that I can. That is not to say it's bad quality. Like, I want it to be good. Like, there are some things I have recorded that I think I'm going to go back and ask us to re-record, because it was before I used like a specific program, you know. So, you know, it's not to the quality I want it to be anymore, because I found something that's better, and if I can make it better, I will. Because people, I want to give people something good to watch, not just something to watch. But the production side of things has been exciting, but also exhausting, and I definitely don't think it's for everybody. I don't know if it's for me yet, but we'll find out. So far, I'm alive still, so you know
that. I would say that's all that matters. But
yeah.
Another wish list question.
Yes.
Top 5 wish list guest that you would have on one of your shows.
Oof.
That aren't in shows that you've already...
Okay, guest. My best friend Meg, her username is Sleepyhead. She doesn't really do TTRPGs often, and she has been in like a show I've done, but we have since shelved that for now because scheduling. And that wasn't for Medusa. That was a completely different thing that we were doing. But she doesn't do TTRPG too often because she's a bit of a silly guy. So if I just had her guest as like, just like the silliest little dude, that'd be like a dream for me. But I guess that's not really a dream because I could just text her and bother her to do it. Dream guest. There's one I know would be a dream guest because he refuses to do it. My friend Ethan Nestor. He doesn't like TTRPGs, so he would never. So it would be my dream, you know, to be able to get him to play
charity.
Once. For charity, yeah,
for charity.
Something. That's like my dream in terms of it's not gonna happen because he just doesn't like them, and that's fine. So actual dream, I killed the fan in me a long time ago. When it comes to celebrities in a way, like even like creators in the space that like have, big numbers. She died. The second I had someone act weird towards me at a con, everything within me died in terms of, ooh, I'm actually nobody's fan anymore. There's a level of respect I have for them. And it's like a bit of mutual respect, but like to a certain extent. But ooh, dream guest. I feel like it's hard for you to say because I feel like anyone that like some people you might consider a dream guest, I could just ask. So it's not really a dream. But I would really love to do a show with my friend Persephone. Wonderful creator in the space. She's she like puts
amazing
everything into these looks. So I would love to do a show with her that like everyone dresses up for. So she can like really, have fun with it. I think that's like a dream like show situation. Like not even just dream guest. Like dream show, because like, ooh, that'd be so fun to have a lot of people like dress up and like do what they want and like be their characters, because sometimes it's hard to do that if you're like playing like a red-skinned fire genasi and you're like as pale as the fucking sheet of paper like I am. Like I'm not painting myself red. I could, but I won't. So that's like a dream scenario, to do something to that caliber. My friend Haley recently did stuff with Dice Times for their Mummy show, and I thought they were amazing in that. So she's also a chaos gremlin, so I would love for them to be on my show. Haley's really great. God, this is a really hard question for me because I haven't really thought about it at all. Because if I thought like, oh, someone would be good for this show, I have just asked them. And then I've had to scrap those shows. So I'm just gonna like, I don't want to say those people because we might see them, and this is like dream guest. I could ask Iffy at some point, if you know what I mean. Because I think he'd just do something crazy. I don't even know for what. I just think he'd do something crazy, and I want to see that. I would like to put him at a table with Blizz specifically.
Oh God.
Yeah, I would like to get him at a table with Blizz. That is actually another dream scenario for me. And then I guess it's a dream guest for me too, because I really want to play at a table. This is fully selfishly. I really want to play at a table with my friend AJ. Because I've played at a table with her only I think once as another player. I've been with her several times as a DM, but she's a friend of mine that I respect and love so dearly. That if I could one more time be a player with her again, that's my dream. So I think those are my. I would love to do an all-out show with Persephone. I would love to put Iffy and Blizz at a table together because, oh, what sweet chaos that would be. And then I just have a crush on AJ. So if I get to sit at a table with my friend and create a great story with them when I haven't had the opportunity to do so before. Yeah, no, I want that. That's my dream. I keep my dreams realistic.
Yes. Hey, look. Nobody said you had to shoot for the moon. You just had to,
and then if I have to shoot for the moon, it'd be like I would like to play a game with Florence Pugh because I'm queer. Or Zendaya. Like that's shooting for like more than the moon there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, those are my dream scenarios that I may be able to actually concoct.
And hey, I'm all for it, and I will be there front row with popcorn, just like
sat and ready.
Let's go. Yeah. Let's go. Well, with all that being said, plug your fucking shit.
Fuck shit. Oh my goodness. Dude, on the podcast I plug myself by ending with I fuck your mom, but I feel like I shouldn't do that here.
It's okay.
Yeah. Well, but then my friend told me my mom listens to this, and I went, well, shit. I'm so sorry.
Well,
that was Mom. I guess we're dating now. Oopsies. Hey guys. Anyway, my name is Sachi, or Versachiko. I play video games on the internet, and I also play silly little guys on tables and stuff in the D&D space, in the TTRPG space. You can find me at Versachiko and other various forms of writing that. My social media names are different everywhere because I was not allowed brand uniformity. And you can also find me at Project Medusa TTRPG. It's either Project Medusa or Project Medusa TTRPG. On all the socials. It should be easier to find because I kind of consolidated that so quickly. Things will be coming out for that soon. Maybe an update video saying, hey, scheduling. See you guys when I see you. My biggest update is going to be, you will see things from Project Medusa, hopefully within the year of 2025. And if you haven't, I have failed, and that's okay. But I'm no longer going to give like a seasonal time frame of like this month or this date. You'll get it when you get it, and I hope you like it. And that's me.
Yeah, thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe everywhere for After the Table, a TTRPG podcast. Follow Sachi everywhere on the internet. Follow Project Medusa everywhere on the internet. All the links are down in the notes. And yeah, I love you guys, and I will see you on the internet. Goodbye!